All right, so I was talking to some friends over the last weekend. They watched my first video and they're all super stoked. Like, yeah, man, you made me want to cook something, which is the goal. Uh, since moving to Florida, I've discovered a lot of people here are not really in tune with a lot of different flavors and different things. And a lot of people here just don't travel a lot. Now, if you don't live in Florida, this probably doesn't apply to you, but I was talking to some friends, and the very first thing they said is, you know what you should make is teriyaki chicken. And I kind of laughed because that's the most generic thing I could think of. And I also don't want my food channel to be all Asian inspired. So I thought about it, and I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm actually going to, where'd it go? Instead of doing chicken, I got some pork I'm going to slice up. And instead of doing standard white rice, I'm going to do kind of a yellow rice and chicken stock. Super easy, nothing crazy. So stick with me. I got my rice cooker, and as you can see, I threw some rice in here. I got another cup of rice. I'm going to throw that in there. Get that going. This rice doesn't really need to be rinsed out or anything because it's already kind of prepared. So I got some chicken stock. I'm going to fill this up. So I got 2 cups of rice, and in a rice cooker it's kind of a 1-to-1 thing. So if you do 2 cups of rice, you do 2 cups of water or whatever stock. I am actually going to do about a little bit more than that. So I'm going to do a cup and a half of stock. And then I'm going to go get some water. And I got some water from my And so we got extra half a cup. And the reason why I'm doing that is I got some vegetables. And this is going to be kind of a fusion. It's not going to be strictly Asian. The rice is definitely not going to be Asian inspired. And I'm going to put in some of these kind of fajita blend. It's just peppers and onions. I'm going to throw that in. Let's put that right on top there. About half a bag. Set the bag to the side. And I'm going to take this. Here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of soy sauce just for some saltiness. Just a little bit of that. Also helps with color. And then I'm going to get some garlic pepper seasonings. You could just do pepper and garlic if you wanted. You can do whatever. I'm just going to sprinkle some of that in there. And then I'm going to close the lid. I'm not going to go crazy. I want this to be easy. I want everybody to be able to do this. So keep track of what I'm doing. It's pretty simple. So we're going to just open this up. And these are nice, thick slabs of pork. It would be great for just about anything else, but we decided to do the teriyaki thing, so I have to prep it a little bit. So I'm just going to set this over here. Get a big knife. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut little strips. Nothing crazy. Just go through this. Any of the fat that's left on here, you could slice it up if you wanted to. I just leave it. A little fat is flavor. Gotta remember that always. What you could do if you really wanted to, you could utilize any other type of meat that you wanted, but if you wanted this to kind of be even more similar to chicken, you could flatten it out a little bit. I'm not too concerned with that. I think these nice little chunks will be plenty nice, and then we're going to add some other stuff to just kind of make it a unique, nice dish. So stick with me. We'll get this rolling really good. Like I said, and well, now twice now, is we want this to be super easy, and we want it to be attainable with everyday ingredients that you don't have to go, oh, I have to do this, I do that. Now, the lazy man would totally just buy a bottle of teriyaki sauce and go from there. That is not what we're going to do. We're going to make our own teriyaki sauce, so stick with me. I'm going to cut through all this stuff and we will make something cool happen here, I guarantee it. But first, we got to make the meat a little bit more pliable, a little less chunks, more little tidbits. We're getting there. Now you could buy your meat pre-sliced up. Like I said, when we bought this, we actually planned on a completely different dish. And if it wasn't for my friends at work, I would have been doing a different dish. I said I didn't want to do a whole bunch of Asian stuff all in a row because then people think that's all I know how to do is cook Asian food. But honestly, the enthusiasm that my buddy was like, oh man. And I think it's because, yeah, anybody can buy a bottle of teriyaki sauce, but to actually learn how to make it is a whole nother ballgame. So, almost got this done. We're going to do a little bit of prep work. One of the things that we want to do is we want to get some cornstarch. Some cornstarch right here. I guess we'll get out any old spoon will do. We're going to sprinkle cornstarch over this. You do this for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to help tenderize the meat later on, or as it's sitting in there. And two, it's going to change the texture of everything. I'm also going to take some pepper. I will season our food. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some monosodium glutamate. Now, when I was a kid, monosodium glutamate was like enemy number one as far as health people were concerned. But man, I tell you what, when you go to a good Asian restaurant and you get that flavor that's just like out of this world, the reason why is monosodium glutamate. It's different than just regular old salt. So we're going to sprinkle just a little bit over the top of this. Nothing crazy. You don't want to go crazy. Take my spoon, mix this up. As you can see, we're just lightly coating everything. I'll probably put a little bit of more salt and pepper or monosodium glutamate and pepper. Something like that. Do a little bit of, oops, spilled some. A little bit of olive oil over here, just to add some fats back in. Pork is a really lean meat, so. So that, add some pepper. Now, if you want it spicy, which I always like a little spice, you can take a little cayenne pepper or any red pepper flake. Do a little paprika too, just for some color. Those are very, very optional. You don't have to get every spice in your cabinet. It's okay if you don't. But I have stuff lying around here, so why not? All right, start. What I'm going to do next is make a teriyaki sauce. And there's a million ways to make a teriyaki. It's a really, really basic sauce. The base is soy sauce. So, see that? It's got my little cup my measuring cup here. I'm going to put in, I don't know, somewhere in there. Maybe, I don't know, just over a third of a cup. There's no science here behind this. It's all to taste. We're going to take some brown sugar and a couple big dollops of that. So 1, 2 tablespoons should be good. All right, I'm going to set that to the side now. And if you want it spicy, you could add some sriracha or some chili crisp. I actually am going to make mine spicy. I'm going to do that at the very end. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need a little bit of sesame oil. So we're going to add that. a drizzle, you know. And then you're also going to need some rice wine vinegar or sweet mirin or some sort of vinegar-esque item that just balances out the flavor. I think where I left off is I was making my teriyaki marinade. The other thing you're going to want to add, and I didn't get to this, is I'm doing a honey teriyaki. So I got this local raw honey here, and we're just going to go ahead and put like, not that much, and then about that much. So we got 2 big squirts full of that. Got a knife here, and we got some garlic here. Let's see, yeah, we can see that. So let's break that garlic up, and we're going to slice it up. I think garlic and just about everything makes a dish so much better. Now, if you are sensitive to garlic or you're worried about having bad breath or whatever, suck it up, buttercup, because it makes it better, trust me. No, if you're sensitive to it, you don't have to use it, but if you're not, garlic definitely, it's one of those umami flavors that makes everything kind of just round out and makes a dish feel better. And there's something about that garlic, once it's infused into everything, it has a much nicer bite to it, a nice little flavor. And I'm going to actually put that in with the meat as it's cooking, so we'll do that. There's some neutral oil. I'm using olive oil because that's what I got. But you can use whatever oil you like. And turn the stove to hot. And when I say hot, I mean high. The reason why I do that is I want the pan to get super, super hot. Once I add the meat, I could lower it down. Let me go ahead and show you guys all this pork. Now, another thing, once I moved to Florida, that I realized is they don't eat as much pork here as on the West Coast where I'm from. I'm sure there's lots of reasons for that. Chicken is the big dish over here. But I just didn't want to do the exact same thing as everybody else. So we had this pork. It was easy to go ahead and institute that into my cooking. Now, instead of doing just plain teriyaki, like I got the marinade and everything, but instead of doing just plain teriyaki, I am going to add some carrots, because I still have some carrots left over from last time. And then I'm going to do snow peas. The carrots are for color, the snow peas are just to round out that sweetness. And then our rice should be done and ready by now. I made a classic mistake, and this is something that you can learn from. Check your stuff. I thought, boom, boom, bang, I'm done. This would be a meal in 20 minutes. Now it's going to be a meal in like 30 minutes because I didn't account for the rice cooker not being turned on. Mistakes happen. Make a mess everywhere. That's going to be today. So those are starting to cook pretty fast. Now I'm going to turn the dial down just a little bit, because once I put this garlic in, the garlic will burn really fast if you're not careful. So I'm just going to go ahead and stir that up. You smell it already. Just If you have smell-o-vision, that was a thing. I think that Emerald Lagasse used to say that. If you don't know who that is, look it up. And then we're just going to put in the pork. All right, so while that is getting that nice grill on it, getting all the flavors melding together, mind you, we haven't done anything with the teriyaki yet. It's still sitting right here. Teriyaki is just sitting right here. What I am going to do is I'm going to get my spoon and start stirring this up because the honey and everything starts to settle at the bottom. Ooh, I can smell it. I can smell that teriyaki. It's so much better than a store-bought because all the ingredients are freshly melded together. Yeah, that has got the smell. That is something you're missing right now. Let me tell you. Record this with my phone here. We're just starting to get a little bit of color into that meat. All right, so the pork's getting there. It's almost there. A couple things I forgot. You could add any sort of essence that you want to your teriyaki. Some people would say want ginger, like a honey soy ginger glaze, which is just a teriyaki with some ginger. Some people want yep. Some people are going to want sesame seeds, which I think are really good. So I am going to add those to my my marinade. So I'm going to just go ahead and pour a decent amount in, get it poured in a good chunk. The meat is cooking up nice. Cilantro at the end. Also going to put up some green onion and then I'm putting some smoky. Don't be scared to experiment. That's something I can't emphasize enough. Is experimentation leads to great things. Sometimes you're gonna mess up. So the pork is really close to being done. Pork does take longer to cook than like a beef would. And maybe close to about the same time as chicken, but you really want to make sure that both pork and chicken are cooked very well. You know, you don't want to get sick from undercooked meat. I turn the heat down just a little bit. And I got my snow peas. Let's see, I don't know if I need them all. Let's see. Stir those in. You know, if you're not really into cooking a lot, you could cook a decent amount and set it aside for future meals. You could freeze it, so on and so forth. It's really starting to smell really nice. All right, while that's doing that, I'm going to stir the teriyaki. Get the sesame seeds mixed in. And I'm going to take some green onion. All these things are super cheap at this store too, so you can make it so fancy and it doesn't really cost you much of anything. So, and I'm going to do some green onion, cut off the chunks that are end pieces. Make sure you remove the rubber band. That would not taste good in your meal, trust me now. Oh yeah. We're almost ready to slap in that sauce. And you got to be careful with a really hot pan and anything that you start adding to it because they can burn really quick, especially when it comes to sauces. Those sauces caramelize and then they can burn really, really fast. But the sugars just don't like to eat that much, I guess. And I'm just going to put the green onions in with the cilantro, kind of nice green mix. One more stir here. It's time to get this party started. I'm going to do this with my spoon. Just going to do a little bit. Let me get that going here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more of the cornstarch. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on there. And then I'm going to start drizzling the sauce over. And what this is going to do is going to make a thick glaze, like a super syrupy, caramelized yumminess. Something that if you just did teriyaki by itself, it's going to be really thin. You add that cornstarch, it thickens up that that sauce that you made, and it turns it into more of a glaze. It's going to stick to all that meat and the vegetables and all the good stuff. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and finish that off in there. Voila. And what we're going to do is we're just going to let that boil down just a little bit and get thick and yummy. Also, if you serve it over rice, having that little extra sauce kind of helps flavor that rice as well. So, let's see how it looks. Looking good, looking good. All right. So there you can see the top-down view. Just boiling it up just a little bit, getting that sauce to thicken up. It's thick now. Look at that. You can see that drip. It's not watered now, so that's about where we want it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off the heat, and then we're gonna talk here for a second. So, what I did wasn't that complicated, and when you see the end result, once I put this into a bowl or a plate or whatever, and see it alongside the rice and a little bit of cilantro and onion, it's gonna look super, super nice. It'll impress your date if that's what you're doing, or it'll impress yourself. You'll be impressed that, wow, with these few ingredients that I have lying around, I was able to make my own teriyaki sauce. Some alternatives you could do, you could add pineapple juice to it. You could add pineapple chunks, kind of go more of a Hawaiian style. All right, so I want to address a couple of things. When you're in the kitchen, or if you're out barbecuing or whatever, things don't always go as you plan. Sometimes you might be missing an ingredient that you thought that you had. Sometimes it may be that you forget to plug in the rice cooker. Sometimes it could be that your camera gear, in my case, keeps filling up the cards because you haven't used the settings. And so you have to resort to going back to your iPhone. It's okay. These are just obstacles that will stop some people, but it shouldn't stop you, and it's not going to stop me. I want to make good food, and I want to show you how to make good food. And the only way I can do that is to persevere. I got to keep going. Now, my rice is just about done. Just checked on that. It's looking good. My teriyaki, I got to tell you, I tried a little sample. Chef's kiss. Pretty good. Very much like what you'd get at an Asian restaurant, you know. It's not gourmet. We're not talking about, oh, this is, you know, chez ooh la la, but way better than Panda Express. So, and cheaper. So I think, just to break it down on cost while I'm waiting on my rice to finish up here, I think we got the pork for around $9, right? There's definitely probably 4 to 6 servings here of the pork. Rice, super cheap. I might be into the, once you count the rice, the chicken stock that I used, the vegetables, let's say I'm into that, another $1. Now I'm at like $10. Sauce wise, the soy sauce, the honey, the sugar and everything else I added in there, let's say it's another $1. I'm probably stretching it out. So what am I into this dish that'll serve 4 to 6 people? Less than $12. And like I said, it's one of those things that you should be able to do very quickly without my obstacles. About 20 minutes because of the rice. The rice is going to take the longest. Because of the obstacles that I had to endure, it's taken me like a half an hour. I cut it out. This video is not going to be a half an hour long, but it's almost in real time. You know, cutting out the obstacles, it's in real time. So in 20 minutes, you could have a really good, healthy, inexpensive dish that you can make. I guarantee it. If I could do it, you could do it. I'm a big dumb correctional officer. If I could do it, you could do it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and start plating this up. Stay tuned. I'll show you the end result. We'll take a bite and I'll tell you what's up. Okay, so put on some cilantro, some green onion. We've got the teriyaki pork, the yellow rice right there. And I'm gonna just take a little bit of this chili crisp. We're going to drizzle some of that, just to give it just a touch of spice there. And that's it. That is the finished result right there. Of course, if you're gonna serve it to somebody, take a little paper towel and just wipe the edge of the bowl. Be all fancy like, but that is teriyaki pork. Zoom in. Look at those sesame seeds right there. Not bad, not bad. Still got a ton left in there. Pretty good serving there. All right, so I'm just gonna take a little sample of just this stuff right here. Just meat. Sweet, but not overly sweet. You get the garlic, you get the sesame, you get all the little flavors kind of melding together. You don't get that out of a bottle, not at all.